Then we got, I think the game I'm most excited for this weekend. The Houston Texans versus the Cleveland Browns. Two teams barely anybody expected to be here before the season started. How are you feeling about this one?
This is just total chaos. Of course, these teams played a few weeks ago, but I'm not going to put too much stock into that. It was not a CJ Stroud game. It was the Davis Mills slash Case Keenum trifecta. Like, what are we doing here?
In
Cleveland blew them
2023,
out.
by the way.
Yeah. Oh, Case Keenum in this economy. What are we doing? But CJ Stroud, I think you are just going to bring in a higher level of quarterback play. I will say that Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, the guys on the interior, they should have a good day, and I will trust Cleveland's defense to pull it out. One thing to note with Cleveland is as good as they've been defensively, they have a propensity to allow the big play. You know, they allowed the big touchdown to Pittsburgh. They really like allowing 50-yard touchdowns for some reason. Now, that's a fine characteristic if your team sucks, but when your team is really good, those 50-yard touchdowns, 70-yard touchdowns, those are backbreakers. And that's the case of, like, you turn it around and look at Cleveland's offense, you love the explosiveness with Joe Flacco. You love him pushing the ball down the field to Amari Cooper and co. You love the David Njoku, insane runs on screens. But you flip that to the defense, and that's frustrating when Jim Schwartz calls the great play and you have all these great players and you have a coverage bust or you miss a tackle because Cleveland's not a great tackling team. They allow some yak, they allow some big plays. And Nico Collins went nuts against Indianapolis. That could be an X factor here of Houston might get 270-yard touchdowns or 250-yard touchdowns or a 3rd and 14 bust that instead of a punt, you get better field position, you can kick a field goal, turn those zeros into threes and those threes into sevens. Although I will say I'm leaning Cleveland. I'll lean Cleveland minus 2.5. That's one of my bets of the week. And I think we're going to get a Joe Flacco return to Baltimore here next week.
Man, I think that would be game of the year, man. I'm getting excited just thinking about that one. Yeah, I'm going Cleveland as well. I think, Cleveland's defense has been real, like, if you look at the numbers, just passing yards, I mean, I think they've
Mm-hmm.
allowed before last week. I don't know how last week factored into this because obviously they weren't playing everybody, but up until last week, they're averaging, I think, 158 passing yards allowed per week in 2023. Like, that's insane. Like, that sounds
Mm-hmm.
like 2005 numbers, you know?
Right.
So I think that this is a different type of defense than Stroud's seen. I will say I think that this is a much better matchup than we would have gotten if Jacksonville had won.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a little bit upset because I was going to go to that game if Jacksonville had won, and I was expecting Jacksonville to win. But Houston has been playing good football in recent memory, or pretty much all year. You know, the offense has been really nice. The defense has been better than a lot of people expected, right? And Stroud. I think Stroud already. I think he had a top 5 season for quarterbacks this year. I think it was incredible. Best rookie we've seen maybe since Andrew Luck. At least since Deshaun.
Herbert was pretty good in 2020.
He was very good, but yeah, I don't know. Either way, like he's up there with those
Mm-hmm.
special rookie quarterbacks. And so I'm taking Cleveland this game. I will say that if Stroud manages to pull this out, it like it's gonna be it's one of the craziest rookie quarterback seasons we've ever seen. I mean, if he managed to pull it out against this defense, and not to mention Joe Flacco's been rolling recently. It's gonna say a lot about that Texans defense, how they're able to defend this Brown offense that looks so good in recent weeks. Joe Flacco, I mean, I know a lot of people are waiting for him to have that game where it's just a disaster, but at the end of the day, he is a playoff vet. He knows how to play in these situations. He's able to play his gunslinging mentality at this quarterback position because they just need somebody who's going to get the ball down the field. They have the weapons. They like to play fast. I think the issue with Watson was everything was so short. Everything was felt like in a phone booth almost. Same thing with the other guys, just weren't very good. I think with Flacco, it allows them to play, get upfield. They're going to make mistakes, but they're also going to make big plays. I think that's what they need with this defense that can hold on against against those turnovers, especially when it's like arm punts and stuff. So I'm taking Cleveland. I think this will be a great game. I don't even know if I'd go if I was betting if I take the -2.5. I think this could be a 1-point game type of game. But ultimately I think Cleveland will pull it out.
Yeah, no,
So,
this is in Houston, so you have the, in theory, good kicking environment. Dustin Hopkins for Cleveland's had a good year. I know
mhm.
Cleveland has the bugaboo with kickers at times, like Minnesota, like the Chargers, but he's been really good this season. So if it does come down to a last second field goal, I would trust Cleveland in that situation.
Yeah, no, I agree. So